Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Genshin Impact character review series, where we take a look at each character in the game and, well, review them, and I give my own opinions on them. And so, today, we're taking a look at the final starter party member that you get for free as the game progresses, which is Lisa. This game's, resignated Arara character. Damn you horny teens. Well then, yeah, so Lisa is a electrocatalyst user. And as a first note and sort of a spoiler, in my opinion, Lisa might actually be the worst character of the starting party and even in the whole game, actually. But, that's not a justified opinion, so why don't we dive into Lisa's kit and see why she has given me that opinion, why I have that opinion of the character. Starting with her auto attacks, they're pretty normal. The normal auto attacks are these, electro shots, I guess, that hit enemies. Pretty normal. They apply electro, of course, because she's a catalyst user, so that is cool. And her charge attack is a bit strange. The thing is, I actually do not understand how this thing works. I've seen it hit multiple enemies. I've seen it hit one enemy. It's a bit weird on how it works. But yeah, it doesn't really change anything. It's a charge attack that doesn't deal anything. It just deals some extra damage. So yeah, auto attacks, nothing spectacular. On to her skill. What this skill does is that you can either press it or hold the skill. When pressing the skill, you fire these balls of electricity. These are single target, so they hunt down a single target and they hit them with the electro damage. They also mark them. They add a stack, and those stacks can go up to 3. And with these stacks, these stacks are part of the hold component of the skill, which, whenever you hold the skill, you need to charge it up for quite a while until the two circles meet. There's a max range circle, then one that starts off from Lisa's position. When these two meet, you can release the skill, and then lightning strikes will strike all the enemies. And the more stacks that an enemy has from the press skill, the more damage this thing will deal. The problem with this skill, though, is that its charge up time is just so long. It is unbelievably long. And its cooldown also is pretty long. It's like 15, 16 seconds. And, I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. The whole charge up time, again, it's just so long that there is just no way you won't get damaged or just interrupted when you're trying to cast this skill. Not only that, it's even if you try to stack the press skill on opponents, it just takes so long. Even if you try to say, okay, I held it and then I deal it, the hold skill can strike a lot of enemies in the AoE, sure, but again, in order to maximize the damage, you just need to spend so much time throwing the press skill in order to stack, and then hope that you don't get interrupted or just killed when holding using the charge skill, and it's just so bad. I don't know what to say. Especially in an abyss-like environment, there is no way you won't get killed or interrupted from enemy attacks while trying to charge this up. It's just bad. And making matters worse, we move on to Lisa's burst, which is this electro lantern, I think it's called, which she summons. And don't get tricked, the circle that is shown by the ultimate isn't actually an AoE, it's sort of a range, because this thing only attacks one enemy at a time. And yeah, I mean that makes it complete utter garbage. Like, it's so bad because there are just so many other electro characters that do such a better job at applying electro, even off field, and this thing just has a just small AoE, and again it only attacks one target. And the only way to make this thing hit multiple targets is through constellations. And before we move on to artifacts and weapons, I think I really need to mention Lisa's constellations here. The constellations do sort of fix her kit. I think the second constellation adds some resistance to interruptions and some death when charging up the hold skill. And her fourth constellation, I think, allows the ultimate to hit multiple enemies. And her sixth constellation makes it so whenever she appears, whenever you switch to her from another character of the party, she will apply 3 stacks of the press skill to nearby enemies. But the problem is, those are constellations. And not only that, she's a starter character and she doesn't appear on character banners, so it's basically impossible to get constellations for her. Not only that, even if she was in the character banners, I would still just not count the constellations in my own opinions. And that is something that I will do and have done for this series. Because counting a character's power level through their constellations is dumb. It's just stupid. Because even if a character is on a banner, on a character banner, and has that rate up, it still is extremely hard to get that specific character and their constellations. Case in point, the Kazuha banner has Bennett. And Bennett is the only character, the only 4-star character I don't have. And so I wanted Bennett. And he is the most broken support, so why not, of course, go for Bennett. I wasted around 30 plus wishes trying not to get the 5-star, and I didn't get Bennett. Not only did I get like 2 razors, I got a fucking bell. A fucking weapon. Not even an off-banner character, I got a weapon. So even if a 4-star character is on the banners, it still is really hard to get constellations. So again, you just cannot say that a character is good based on their constellations. And we'll mention this again in another video, but talking about Lisa, it's just bad. Her kid is just so bad. And you just can't do anything about it. And it's clear because everybody just doesn't use Lisa. They're just all of the other Electro characters are just 1,000 times better than Lisa. But yeah, I mean, sure. Let's move on to artifacts. I would guess that Thundering Fury is a must on this character. The 2-piece set gives you lightning, gives you electro damage bonus, and then the 4-piece set increases damage on electro-related reactions, and also whenever you trigger reactions, you lower the cooldown of your elemental skill, which helps with the hold skill's cooldown, but again doesn't help with the extremely long charge up time on the hold skill. Maybe you can go for something like Noblesse to increase the burst's damage, but it's single target. It's a single target skill when you think that it would actually just hit multiple enemies, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, Thundering Fury is really the only thing I can recommend. As for roles that Lisa can fulfill, she can be an Electro sub DPS. I don't know if she can really work as a main DPS. No, not at all. A sub DPS most likely. but there are better choices out there. And I guess an elemental support to apply Electro, even though Electro reactions aren't the best in the game. Even with the elemental mastery buffs, they are pretty underwhelming still. But yeah, again, sort of sub DPS, maybe elemental support. As for weapons, I mean, basically everything. Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds, pretty good. Gives crit rate, good base attack. If you're struggling with crit rate, use it. Skyward Atlas, best base attack. Okay, the attack percent substat is good, and its effect is, well, the best catalyst. Witzith, basically the best 4-star weapon in the whole game, which you can get from gacha. Gives a good amount of crit damage, good base attack, and its effect is, well, really broken. Wine and Song, sure, really good, the most base attack out of the 4 stars. Gives energy recharge, so if you want more ultimates, sure. And its effect is okay. Okay. Frostbearer, not at all. Eye of Perception, this weapon is meh. Its effect is okay only on like Refinement 5. If you don't have the Eye of Perception high refinement, I don't know how good this thing is. Okay-ish, actually very low base attack. The attack percent extra is nice, but this isn't the best. Dodoko Tails, if you got it from the event, sort of the same as the Eye of Perception, although this one you get free Refinement 5. But this thing is mostly tailored towards charged attack catalysts, which is Ningyan, Klee, and Yanfei, so it doesn't really fit Lisa. She's in a charged attack focused catalyst. Solar Pearl, well, if you want to use it, it gives crit rate. Its effect is really nice since it buffs the skill and burst damage. So if you're struggling a bit with crit rate on artifacts, then sure, go with Solar Pearl. Sacrificial Fragments. Well then, base attack is low. The elemental mastery is sort of nice. Again, the electro reactions didn't really get that significant of a buff with the elemental mastery buffs on 1.6. But the cooldown reset is okay. Again, the problem, the problem with Lissa's skill is the charge up time on the hold skill and the cooldown. But the thing is that the cooldown is like 20-30% of the problem. The other 70% is that charge up time. So, you're not really doing much by resetting the cooldown of the skill, because not only do you want to firstly stack the tap skill before using the hold skill. That's basically it, really. You won't just go back to back hold skills. What else? The Prototype Amber, completely skip it because it's a support catalyst. Mapamare, it's okay. Really good base attack. The Elemental Mastery is nice, and the effect is cool. Favonius Codex, I mean, if you're using Lisa as more of a elemental support that really spams bursts, then sure, go for the Favonius Codex. Black Cliff, actually don't use the Black Cliff Agate. Well, actually, if you have Witzith, the Witzith is miles better than the Black Cliff Agate, because you need Star Glitter. But if you weren't that lucky with the gacha and you don't have the Witzith, then sure, if you're struggling with crit damage, go with the Black Cliff Agate. Again, only if you're using Lisa as a sub DPS. But yeah, I mean, those are the weapons, and I mean, I don't know what to say. Let's go to a conclusion and say that Lisa's just a bad character. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Even with like recommendations on weapons and like artifacts, I know that she's just not that good. And replaying her to gather footage, I was like, oh my god, she's just so bad. Maybe in a co-op environment, yes, to have another player tank or like draw the aggro of enemies until you charge up your ability, your hold skill. But even then, like it's meh. Like she has AoE. You think she has AoE capabilities through her hold skill, and you know at first when you see her using her burst, you would think that it deals AoE electro damage, but no, it's single target. So she can be kind of okay against the bosses because you can easily you'll quickly stack the 3 stacks of the tap skill and then use the hold skill. But I mean, damn, if you really want to use Lisa, I think that someone like an Amber or a Mona, perhaps a Ganyu, is a must, because if you don't have a decoy to just draw the attention of enemies while you charge up that skill, I would think that, especially again in a abyss-like environment, it is impossible to charge the skill without getting interrupted. And yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm sorry if you like Lisa as a character, but she's just really bad in my opinion. But nevertheless, that's it. Next up, we have finished with the starting party, and next up is Barbara, because she is a character you will get for free through a thing you can press, I think, because you don't get her like sort of automatically, you need to get her yourself. So yeah, next up is Barbara, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.